Motorsports TV Supersport class has been the most successful feeder category for the Australian Superbike Championship since the late 90s. With similar rules, it's the perfect platform for riders to hone their craft. Let's meet some of the stars of the Motorsports TV Supersport 600 class.
So Tommy Gunn, I think Nan actually came up with the name when I was racing dirt track. So Gunn is an old family name. E obviously stands for Edwards, and it kind of fitted and worked. So yeah, she came up with the name and I've stuck with it. I've been racing internationally since I was 10, going over and stuff, but living in Europe since I was 16, yeah. So having this year here in Australia has been really good to spend so much time with my family and friends and stuff. I haven't done it for a long time. It's great to be home for a bit of time.
Yeah, it's probably the strongest I've come into a Supersport 600 season, so, you know, this is our best shot at it, and I'm going to probably give it everything, just like everyone is, but I'm feeling good about it. I think it's just, you know, you grow up doing it, and, you know, I'm not much good at anything else, so I sit on the couch and go, what else am I going to do? And I love it, you know, I love the atmosphere we got at the racetrack, and, you know, the people we get to meet, and, you know, the competitiveness is, like, really in me, so I just love racing.
Yeah, look, it's pretty cool to have him sort of like have him crew chief, you know. Damo, Heath and Dad, they're doing a good job getting the bikes already, and they're working on track, so it's just good to have that support of family and friends and all that, you know, so love it. There's such high competition, you know. Broc and Tom have stepped it up a lot from last year and sort of setting a benchmark for me and other riders to push towards. So it's good because we need more of that sort of to get the class better and everyone improving.
Yeah, it's probably more fun than it is serious. Obviously, you know, we've got to take it very seriously in the race plan and that, but it's good just to be relaxed, sort of doing our own thing. Obviously, there's sometimes a bit of arguments, but most of all, it's just having fun, and that's the main thing that we are here for, and that's what we enjoy doing it. So, no, it's great.
Yeah, it's different. It's good though. It's relieving to be back in Australia and to be racing a 600 again, or for the first time for me actually. But yeah, I've done a couple of years in the World Superbike Championship on a 300, and yeah, I feel like I was ready to step up, and I was getting a bit, not stale, but just needed a different challenge and, you know, something new. So yeah, really enjoying being back in the ASBK.
And welcome back to Wakefield Park, round 3 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul. We are getting ready, Steve, for the Motorsports TV Supersport class. We've already had one race on track, but I think things are about to heat up, and look at this massive crowd. The first time the crowds have been allowed back to Wakefield Park since 2019. We saw massive crowds then. Surely today we're going to eclipse that, because they have been pouring in here since we arrived on Friday. The amount of spectators for a Friday has blown everybody away. Yesterday was bigger, and today is going to be even bigger again.
And why wouldn't you be here, Phil? Because we're going to see a sensational day's racing ahead. Barbecues out the back. It's going to be a big day here, and what a way to start off this Motorsports 600 race with 3 guys and possibly 4 or 5 that could win this one.
Well, and also too, the championship is so close, because at Winton we saw Broc Pearson and also Tom Edwards share the race wins. The only advantage in the championship is the 1 pole position point that Tom Edwards has. He comes into this race with a 1-point championship, or sorry, this meeting with a 1-point championship lead. It's all even Stevens now after Broc Pearson took that point for pole position.
Luke Power there on the second row, great for him too, first time on the 600 of this circuit. Dallas Skier, he just improves over and over. And also on the third row, Scotty Nicholson is back out there too, good to see him. Reece Belling and Tommy Bramich as well.
Off on our final warm-up lap, last opportunity to get some heat into the tyres before we go racing for Motorsports TV Supersport category. And yes, it is a very impressive grid, the most competitive that we've seen in the Motorsports TV class for some time. Broc Pearson, as we mentioned, starts from pole position with Max Stauffer and Tom Edwards joining him on the front row of the grid.
Row 2 is started with Jack Passfield, Dallas Skier in 5th, and Luke Power rounds out row 2.
Yeah, Tom Bramich on board bike number 44 will start the this third row of the grid on position number 7 with Scotty Nicholson and Reece Belling, the bricklayer from Victoria, doing a great job qualifying in 9th position.
Row 4 is Aidan Hayes. He had a big crash throughout the weekend. Jay Taylor in 11th and T. Large in 12th.
Yeah, Mitch Kuhn will start out of position number 13 with Noel Mahon and Matt Long. And Tim Large also out there. Well, he was in qualifying, but I didn't see him out there on the grid. So hopefully Tim Large has had hasn't had an issue and he's out there on the grid.
Nice big field in the 600s. It's growing again. Let's face it, last year there wasn't the numbers that we'd like to see, but they're certainly increasing this year.
Well, increase in numbers, Steve, but increase in the competitiveness of the category, because
Talent.
You've got those 3, but then right behind them you've got a lot of guys that are so very closely matched that we're going to see a lot of good battles back through the pack. And also good to see that Tom Bramage is getting more and more used to the 600 after spending many years riding Supersport 300 machines. Well, ready to go racing. Tom Edwards with a bit of a Jack Miller stoppie as he makes his way into his grid position. Red flag at the front of the grid. He's about to leave. MotorsportsTV Supersport is ready to go. MotorsportsTV is going. A great start for Broc Pearson from pole position as he makes his way down in towards turn 1. He should have the lead. As he tips in there, it is Max Stauffer that's in 2nd, Edwards in 3rd. Jack Passfield has got a cracking start and he is right on the back wheel of Edwards' machine as they make their way up through the very tricky Dunlop corner and now to AGV at the top of the hill.
One of the guys that's gone wide in the background there, but Luke Power, Dallas Gear and Tom Bramage as well got off well. Might have been Reece Belling that went a little bit wide there, but it was Scotty Nicholson actually, as they head up to the top of the circuit for the first time and down into the fishhook, the Alpine Stars fishhook.
Yeah, Alpine Stars corner sees Broc Pearson still leading, but it is very tightly packed at the front. Jack Passfield has got away with the leaders. How important is this, that he is with that lead group as they make their way up the Yamaha straight for the first time and down into turn 10, the very tricky Yamaha Revs Your Heart corner. Great start too from Luke Power, and look at Dallas Gear, he's right on his tail as well. Dallas Gear riding the best that I've ever seen him at both Winton and here at Wakefield Park.
He's on fire at the moment. It's really good to see, just improving every week, week in, week out. But Broc Pearson hasn't got all his own way at the moment, with Tommy Edwards right up there too. Good to see these guys, and yeah, like you say, Passfield, if he can just hang in there for 2 or 3 laps, the pace will settle down slightly and he might just be able to hang in there to the end of the race.
So 64.1 from a standing start for Broc Pearson on that first lap. He's got a 2 or 3 bike length lead as they make their way through the Danish corner and start the run down towards the bottom of the hill. Now, Max Stauffer looks like he's made a little bit up on the brakes, and as we know, Max is a demon braker, and talking to his dad yesterday, he was more concentrating on getting the bike set up to be able to run into the corners and then get the drive out.
Well, this track is all about not making a mistake. You've got to run that pace, but if you make one mistake, run wide in one corner, you can lose 4 spots, and then that's it. Your race is over. The straights with the 600s aren't really long enough to slipstream, so it's an extremely difficult track to overtake on.
Let's watch Max now as he comes down into this corner. He was saying yesterday that with the small change they made, the bike was actually better, but it meant that it was getting a little bit sideways on the entry into corners. He looked then like he was pretty smooth as he made his way down into Motul corner to start this 3rd lap, looking pretty smooth, and Tom Edwards right there as well. Is he just keeping his powder dry, Steve? And as for Supersport, it's the same distance as we had at Winton, but it is a lot more laps to get around because Wakefield Park is only 2.2 kilometres long.
It's a lot more laps and it's a lot more physical. Do you know what I mean? For the race distance is actually probably, I haven't calculated out, but there'll be more turns in this race than there would be at Winton, which means that these guys are physically need to be in top form to be able to hold onto that bike and place it in the right spot every time. And the fitter you are, the more concentration you have, and that's what it's all about. It's about concentration.
Dallas Gear has got ahead of Luke Power in the Suzuki and Kawasaki battle for 5th and 6th position. Those two having a really good little ding-dong battle. Just behind them is Reece Belling having a great ride on board bike number 61 as well. You can see there Gear looking pretty pretty smooth as he comes down into Motul corner. And Luke Power, as you mentioned, Dallas Gear's been riding in this class for many, many years. Luke Power is only having his second meeting on board a Supersport 600 machine after stepping up from Supersport 300 last year.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive from Luke Power, especially, I mean, you can just see how he's hanging onto the bike. It's moving all over the place there. So bumpy, you just have to just try and hold it all together. So to be able to do that, what he's doing, it's pretty amazing, really. These guys, unlike the motocross guys, they don't get to go riding whenever they want. You know, you just can't get on a road racing track. So they've really, you know, got to learn quickly and in a short amount of laps. So, you know, take my hat off to him. He's adapted to this 600 Kawasaki really well.
Unfortunately, Joel Taylor on board bike number 12 has just entered the pits with a problem on board his Yamaha. So unfortunately, he's out of the race. It is still Broc Pearson that leads by half a second now. The lead up to half a second over Max Stauffer. Fastest lap of the race so far on the last lap of 58.783 for Broc Pearson.
New lap record.
So Broc Pearson is on fire at the moment, just pulling out that small lead over Max Stauffer with Tom Edwards sitting right there behind Max as well.
Well, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He didn't go out in the morning warm-up because he was afraid that would slow his pace down. Missed the warm-up, a little bit of a gamble, but it's paid off for him too because he's out there and that gap is increasing now. He is just banging in lap after lap and just opening up the gap a little bit from Maxi Stauffer.
We mentioned it at Winton, but for those people that didn't actually catch the action at Winton, Broc Pearson has unfortunately spent many, many years with quite serious injuries. And at the end of last year, he was the first time he was actually come to a racetrack, incidentally, here at Wakefield Park, and actually race at 100% fitness. Through the off-season, all he's done is train to get his fitness levels up. And he started this year with the most fitness and the most confidence that he's had for many, many years. And he actually feels now that he can race with these guys without the injuries inhibiting his performance.
Oh, you know what I reckon's making Max Stauffer so fast, apart from his incredible natural ability? If you have a look at the side of his bike, he's got the Doctor, Max, which is the Doctor's obviously Valentino Rossi, and Max is Max Biaggi. They're two pretty fast guys. If that's his nickname, boy, he's going to be fast.
Well, you know who Dr. Mac is?
It's Dr. Mac, is it?
Yeah, well, no. That's his dad's workshop where he prepares all the engines.
I didn't even know that.
That's what's making him fast.
Well, maybe he should put Dr. Max on the side of his bike and he'll probably be leading the race.
Broc Pearson still leads Max Stauffer as they come down in towards turn 10. Yamaha revs your heart corner. It is the three Yamahas out front. Looked like Tommy Edwards may have just lost a little bit distance on that lap. He was actually back in the 59s. And actually, no, he's just recovered on the last one, 58.864. There was literally thousandths of a second between all three of them on their lap times on that last lap. So they are holding station as they make their way up through Dunlop now and towards AGV at the top of the hill. We've completed 6 laps of this 16-lap journey. So we're still, Steve, a little way from half race distance. Max is using all of the track up there at the top.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Time to go down to the pits with an update from pit lane.
Yeah, as you spoke of earlier, Joel Taylor has come into pit lane. He lost both the toe pieces on his bike. He did have a crash yesterday, so unfortunately just a mechanical error there for Joel Taylor.
Well, hopefully they might be able to get that bike repaired and he can get out and hopefully score a couple of points. That could be very important in the championship wash-up at the end of the season, Steve.
No, absolutely. You know, if he can get back out, that'd be great to see. But meanwhile, back out front, Tommy Edwards has dropped back a little bit more. But I tell you, Max Stauffer, very, very impressive. And he's just cracked off a new lap record.
Fastest lap of the race so far, Max Stauffer, a 58.661. Broc Pearson actually did his fastest lap of the race, but it was a tenth of a second slower than Max, who has now got that lead of Broc Pearson's nailed back to 0.45 of a second. And look at Max. He looks like he means business now. You can just see his body language has changed on the motorcycle after the last lap or so, even though he looks more and more like his dad, Jamie, in his heyday of Superbike racing. Oh, no, that's a big crash there for one rider. Couldn't quite catch the number of that machine. But unfortunately, that's bike number 12. That's Joel Taylor. He has been able to get back out on track. But I'd say cold tyres, Steve, and means that he has come down pretty hard.
Yeah, and that's what we were alluding to right at the start. He's just, whatever's happened there, he's just gone in either cold tyres or it locked up. And yeah, that's not a good one for him. Let's hope that they can get him up and he's okay.
Yep, red flag. I thought that might have involved a red flag stoppage when we saw the severity of that incident. So red flag stoppage, which will allow the race safe medical crew, the premier motorsport medical crew in Australia, to get out there and to attend to Joel. And hopefully everything's a-okay. But it will mean that we will have a restart. Interesting to see how many laps the restart will be over.
Now these guys are going to have to be really, really careful that they don't lose the temperature in their tyres. But it's good to see him up. Look, he seems to be okay. A little bit shaky on his feet. But now there's a lot of frenetic action in the pit here. People with tyre warmers, half the people on the grid. A little bit of chaos. You can see Jake Mitchell there running out to Luke Mitchell. There's Mitch Kuhn just getting off his bike. There'll be people.
How good does Mitch Kuhn's package look? The leathers, the bike, everything always looks absolutely sensational with the Shark leathers.
No, he certainly does. He knows how to pull off a good, good look. There's Mitch Kuhn. He's getting faster on the 600 as well, which is really, really impressive to see. And there he is. He's up and about, just disappointed about the way that race has gone. 2 issues in the one race. Not what you'd like to see.
So riders are back onto the grid now. There's Reece Belling. Board bike number 61 got a cracking start. So did Jack Passfield. How important was that first couple of laps for Jack Passfield, hanging on to the race leaders? There's Aidan Hayes, had a big crash earlier on in the weekend, which has had him down to 1 bike for the rest of the weekend, but as usual, doing a sterling job on board the Hayes electrical machine. Red flag at the front. We're ready to go racing again. Motorsports TV Supersport. 6 laps of the journey. Motorsports TV Supersport is go. Looked like a very good start this time from everybody on the front row of the grid. And Maxi Stauffer comes flying through and down into turn 2 in the lead of this class. Looked like Tom Edwards came through as well. He's up into second. And our early race leader, Broc Pearson, who was unchallenged in leg number 1, is back to 3rd place. And Jack Passfield has got another cracking start on board the Stay Upright machine, bike number 42.
No, Reece Belling's done a good job too. He's right up there now in about that 5th or 6th position there. But Broc Pearson has got work to do now. He's not going to have it all his own way. He's going to have to find places to pass in this circuit, and it is not easy. Probably take 1 or 2 laps to settle in, but I'll tell you what, with only 6 laps left in this race, you can't afford to muck around.
Yeah, it was a cracking start by Reece Belling. As you mentioned, he's ahead of Luke Power. There's Scotty Nicholson on board bike number 39, making his way through the field as well. Down into the final corner we come. Power having a look up the inside of Reece Belling. Couldn't quite get the job done. And Dallas Skier, just ahead of Reece Belling, was trying to find his way up the inside of Jack Passfield as well. As we complete the first lap, the leader is Max Stauffer, 103.777 from a standing start.
That's quick.
It's very quick, and I think that Max has made his intentions quite clear. He knows it's only 6 laps, and he can put in everything that he can for these 6 laps. This is a 6-lap sprint. This is probably going to be more exciting than a 16-lap journey.
Well, it's going to be exciting for the guys up front at the moment. I don't know about Broc Pearson, though. He wanted it to be a boring win, but it's going to be anything than that. Jack Passfield with a little bit of company there behind him. They're lined up behind him. Dallas Skier looking for a way through.
Yeah, Power trying to have a look down the inside of Reece Belling as well. The front 3 have already got away to the tune of about 1.4 seconds or so over this pack of 4 that are now battling for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th position. So Max Stauffer leads, Tom Edwards in 2nd, Broc Pearson in 3rd. Pretty tightly packed as they come through Yamaha Revshahat corner, the final corner, and out onto the My Bike Insurance start finish straight here. It is still Max Stauffer that leads, but the fastest man on that lap, Steve Martin, was Broc Pearson with a 58.922.
Yeah, a little bit of slipstream there, but couldn't get past. He still sits in that 3rd position. He'll be getting pretty frustrated now because he's got to overtake, well, with 3 laps to go, at least a person a lap. It's not going to be that easy to get through. It doesn't sound like much, but you're not going to pass 2 people in 1 lap at this circuit.
Maxi Stauffer taking that big, long, wide line at the top 2.
Yeah, he's got. He certainly likes to get that flow, keeps that mid-corner speed up, uses all of the track to get through there. But look how tight it is between these guys now. Tommy Edwards lines up the inside, but you can't do that there. Tries to get ready for a move into the final corner.
Here comes Broc Pearson coming down the inside of Edwards, gets the job done. Down the inside, can he maintain corner speed and momentum? Out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight. Edwards now pulls right into his slipstream as they make their way across the start-finish line. That is 3 laps down of the 6-lap journey, so we're half race distance. It is still Max Stauffer that leads. Pearson now up into second. Edwards in third, and Reece Belling has got the better of Dallas Skier to move up into 5th position behind Jack Passfield.
Well, Max Stauffer's got everything to play for now. If he wants to be the one that we're all talking about at the end of the weekend, he's got 2 laps to stay where he is, but he's got Broc Pearson breathing down his neck at the moment. And Broc is really good at lining things up a couple of corners back, and that's how he got past Tommy Edwards before. He lined all that up here. And he's looking like he's going to go up the inside, but this time it's Tommy Edwards who gets the good drive out. Let's see if he can have a go at brakes.
Yeah, it looked like he was carrying a lot of corner speed into the penultimate corner, the corner that starts the back straight there at Pirelli, but had to get out of the throttle a fraction, and Max kept the drive through going and meant that Broc Pearson wasn't in a position to try and get past at the final corner. In fact, I think Edwards was probably the bigger loser out of that, because he's lost a couple of bike lengths distance from the back of Broc Pearson's machine as well. And Jack Passfield has got Reece Belling all over the ducktail of his machine in the battle for 4th place as well. I think if Reece Belling can finish in 4th place, it would be his best ever Supersport race finish.
Well, I'll tell you what, it won't necessarily be 4th place if these guys up front, anything can happen there. So it could be for a podium. So this is really important for Reece Belling to keep on it. But as they head down the hill now, up the inside, Pearson tries to do it, but he can't do it. Stauffer leaves no room at all.
So they run out a little bit wide there, then clip the apex late as they come through Pirelli corner here and out onto the back straight. Pearson looks like he's trying to set up a manoeuvre to come down the inside of Max Stauffer.
He did it easy.
He did it very easy. He was even passed before they got on the brakes, I think, as they make their way through Yamaha Revs Your Heart corner now, run out wide, get back onto the middle of the straight, and Broc Pearson, our early race leader, has just got the last lap board, and he's taken the lead for the first time in this shortened 6-lap journey for Motorsports TV Supersport.
Well, what can Max Stauffer do? It remains to be seen. He's really got to try and do something, but I'll tell you what, the mid-corner speed of Broc Pearson is nothing short of sensational. He's really worked hard at getting the drive onto that back straight, which gives you the opportunity to outbrake in the last corner. So Pearson looks like he's going to have this one covered.
Pearson doing a great job here as he makes his way past the Danish signage and down towards the bottom of the hill at the Alpine Stars corner. No way with Broc Pearson's very fast running speed that Stauffer could get up the inside, nor Tom Edwards past Stauffer.
Oh!
Big moment there for Maxi Stauffer. He was out of the sleep.
Edwards.
He's lost all his drive. Edwards is up the inside. Stauffer's shoulder was rubbing on his fairing as they came out onto the Yamaha straight.
He hasn't given up. He hasn't given up. He's going up the inside. Big move. Can he hold? He runs wide. Edwards gets back through.
Oh, Maxi Stauffer, he just got it in there too late and too deep. He'll go back to third, but Broc Pearson will take the win. His second win of the season so far. And Tom Edwards will take second place, Max Stauffer third. But to come back from almost getting out of the seat and crashing to putting on an overtaking manoeuvre at the last corner just shows you how determined Max is this weekend. But Broc Pearson, well done. He's been fast all Friday. He was fast yesterday, and he takes the first race win in Motorsports TV here on Sunday at round 3.
He certainly earned that one. He showed everybody. He didn't pass because his bike was faster, that's for sure. He passed because he had the much better speed and drive through Pirelli. The first part, the entry in the mid-corner, and that was what he was so strong. Just got brilliant bike control and good setup.
Well, we predicted it was going to be a battle in 3. Troy Herfoss knew it was going to be a battle in 3, and that's exactly how it panned out, with Broc Pearson taking the win from Tom Edwards and Max Stauffer. 1.2 seconds covered the top 3. That's probably not a fitting indication of how close that race was. Jack Passfield took 4th, despite a fair bit of pressure over the closing laps. Luke Power got 5th place. That would be his best finish. Dallas Skier in 6th. Scott Nicholson in 7th. Hayden Hayes in 8th. Tom Bramage in 9th. And Reece Belling, who was 5th, only a couple of laps from the end, ended up finishing in 10th place. Luke Mitchell in 11th. Tim Large in 12th. Mitch Kuhn in 13th. And Ryan Sellen finished in 14th place. It's time to hear from our top 3. They're in Park for May with Rihanna.
With Rihanna, it certainly is. Motorsports TV Supersport, race 1, podium in 3rd position, Max Stauffer. Max, I can tell by the look on your face you're a little bit disappointed. You certainly gave us a scare. No doubt you gave yourself a little scare out there.
Yeah, that's right. It was a tough race, that one. A few mistakes and a few problems, but I'm sure the team will we'll work it out. You know, they know what they're doing. They're clever, so we'll be back.
The bike's fast. It just seems like we can't separate you three at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. The Broc and Tommy, you know, they're just so good, so fast, and just do everything right. So it's hard to beat them.
Congratulations for being on the podium in third position. In second place, Tom Egan, Tom Edwards. We cannot separate the three of you. Fantastic racing out there, but interrupted race for you guys to start your day.
Yeah, you know, we had that red flag after a few laps. You know, I just started feeling good, started catching up to the boys again, and then red flag, but you know, it gave me a good opportunity to start with them again. Broc obviously blew the start on that last one and then came through in the end. He rode a great race and did really well, and try and keep up with him this Arvo.
Yeah, we look forward to race 2 this afternoon, and taking out the victory for race 1, it is Broc Pearson. Broc, absolutely fantastic first start, but the second start, not quite the way you wanted to get it going.
No, I really nailed that first start, and I knew the boys were going to be there, like I said, so I just wanted to go. And then the second one, yeah, I sort of fluffed it, and Tom was on my inside, and I knew as deep as I was going to brake, he was going to go deeper, so I let him have it. And it was really cold, so we let the first couple laps warm up. I settled in, and then after that, I tried to tick them off one at a time. And yeah, I don't know, that one feels really cool. You know, I didn't have a lot of time to work with those passes, and these guys are really late on the brakes, so made for a hard race. But anyways, I love it. I'm back.
Yeah, absolutely. We cannot wait to the second race this afternoon. Congratulations to our 3 place getters, Max Stauffer, Tom Edwards, and Broc Pearson.
We're at Wakefield Park for round 3 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship. The MotorsportsTV Supersport riders are down on the grid, so is Rihanna.
Thanks very much, Phil. Dallas Skier, really fantastic results so far this weekend. What's bringing you all this extra confidence?
Yeah, we're running quite well, sort of where we are with times. It'd be good to be up a bit higher in position, but we'll see what we can do this race, hopefully top 4. And, you know, I just can't thank Glenn Richards enough. He's helped set up the bike so much. He's not here this weekend, but he's been with us the last couple of times, and it's just great working with him.
We wish you all the best.
No worries, thank you.
Yeah, we remarked last round, Steve, about the miraculous improvement in Dallas Skier over such a very short time on board that Suzuki. He's been around the top 10 sort of mark and that for many, many years. But at Winton, he literally exploded into the upper echelons of this very competitive class.
Well, he's always had the talent, and he thanked the person that turned it around. You might think at home or sitting there where you are that you can just get on a bike and it's up to the rider to run. It's, to do the fastest lap time, but it's not like a running race. It literally, you've just got to set the bike up. Let's get back down to the grid.
Luke Power, I know you had an issue earlier on in the weekend. You were feeling a bit sore and sorry. How are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad now. I've got over the crash, that's for sure. I've set PBs all throughout since then, so looking forward to the race today. The weather's turned out nice, so hopefully I can stick with the front 3 boys. Do
you think you've got a bit of extra pace to try to keep up with these front guys?
I'm not sure. I'm here to find out, so I know I'm going to have to push like buggery, but I hope I can, so see how we go.
Good luck.
Thanks, Shanna.
He's not going to go home wondering this afternoon, is he, Steve? We've seen him. It's only his second round of riding a Supersport machine. He rode a Supersport 300 here last year, and you've already alluded to it many times. There's a lot of difference between a 300 and the bigger, heavier, faster, and harder to control 600.
The thing I like about Luke is he is not scared to find the limits, and I'm sure that we'll see that every time you look at him. The bike's like sideways, or the back wheels in the air, or he's wheeling. He's young, he's strong, he's fit, and he wants to win. So he'll just keep pushing those boundaries to see what he can see where they end.
Well, doing a great job on the ProWorks Kawasaki ZX6, and I don't reckon it'll be too many years and we'll see that young man stepping up into the Superbike class as well. Rider on screen there, bike number 42, Jack Passfield, having a good weekend as well with some fast, consistent lap times. He could be one to watch in this one as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Jack Passfield, another that... in the last couple of, say, in the last year or so, he's come on strong. He's found something, and he's becoming a contender, very close to podium pace. And the closer you get to podium pace, the easier it is to run that pace just through the extra confidence that you carry.
And to give you an idea at home of the changing of the guard of the Supersport category, coming into this round, there were only 2 riders in this field that had actually taken a Supersport victory here at Wakefield Park. Broc Pearson was one, Max Stauffer is another. Broc Pearson has now gone to 2 victories. Max Stauffer is going to be desperate to try and make sure that they leave here this afternoon with 2 victories apiece. Of course, Max is part of that very professional GTR Stars Motorstars team, which has Heath Griffin, Damien Cudlin and Jamie Stauffer all behind the scenes and doing a great job bringing young riders through, not only in Motorsports TV Supersport, but also in the Supersport 300 and R3 Cup classes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Also good to bear in mind, you just see one of the Kawasaki's there struggling to get off the line. I wouldn't be too concerned about that at the moment. Okay, looks like he may have stalled it or something, because normally you can stay towards the back, but that was a long way back. I'd say he stalled it, got it going, so could have been Luke Power, wasn't sure, I didn't see the number, but
yeah, it was like... because Noel Mann, the other Kawasaki bike, number 10, was actually there in the field. You can see him coming through there.
Oh, Luke Power got a lucky escape there. He stalled his bike and got it going.
Well, Broc Pearson, Max Stauffer and Tom Edwards will start from the front row of the grid. They were 1, 2, 3 in race number 1. Has anyone got some questions to answer or ask them in this one?
Well, Jack Passfield, Dallas Gear and Luke Power hope that they're the ones that can take those top 3 spots.
Tom Bramage, Scott Nicholson and Reece Belling are all having pretty good weekends as well, along with Aidan Hayes. Joel Taylor, hopefully he's back out there after that big crash earlier on this weekend. And Tim Large on board bike number 74 will also be on row 4.
Mitch Kuhn, Luke Mitchell's out there, good to see. Noel Mann and Ryan Sellen on row 6.
Yeah, good to see Ryan Sellen back in the championship. He's been away for a couple of years, but bike number 23 is back, and hopefully he has a successful weekend and continues to run for the rest of the championship.
There is Luke Mitchell just pulling up there with that red helmet, the green speedy leathers.
Luke Mitchell pretty handy on a motocross bike too, I believe.
Yeah, no, he certainly is. He's a good little rider. Good to see him back on a road bike.
So riders coming around to take up their positions on the grid. Race 2 for Motorsports TV Supersport class, their final outing for the weekend. Broc Pearson leads the championship by 5 points over Tom Edwards. Max Stauffer in 3rd in the championship. They're on the front row of the grid. They are the top 3. They were top 3 in race number 1. We're ready to go racing for Motorsports TV Supersport. Great start once again from Jack Passfield in the 2nd row of the grid. He's going to be right on the back of our leading 3 as they come down into turn 1. He is right on the back. He's actually sandwiched in between Tom Edwards and also Max Stauffer. And Luke Power has got a cracking start on board bike number 68. No stalling at this time, Steve.
No, I thought he was going to go all the way around the outside. He just got locked out there, though. Couldn't quite do it, but nevertheless, a good start from him. Broc Pearson,
he's out of the seat.
Told you he didn't hold back.
Well, he's never going to go home this afternoon wondering, as we said. Dallas Gear got a great run up the AWMF hill for the first time as well and managed to move up 1 position. He's right onto the back of Jack Passfield now, but no surprise to see Broc Pearson on board bike number 17. It is the lanky Queenslander that leads, and as he did in race number 1, he's got a pretty handy lead early on.
Now, out of these top 3, supposedly, the only one with a new rear tyre due to tyre management is Tommy Edwards in 3rd position at the moment. Will that make a difference? We'll know in a couple of laps.
Yeah, we know that Max Stauffer had to run the same front tyre for both of the races today because he used that extra tyre in qualifying to make sure that he was up onto the first row of the grid. So Tommy Edwards has got that tyre strategy up his sleeve. He said it could make a difference in this race. Let's see how it pans out over the next 14 laps.
Yeah, it's a long way, 14 laps around here. It's very, very physical. These guys have been at it all weekend. Whatever energy they've got saved up, they need to use it all up right now because this is the last time these boys will be on track for the rest of the weekend.
Here we go. Here's a replay of the first lap of the race. Watch bike number 86 come up the inside. Luke Power goes, no, you're not going past.
Oh.
Gets on the gas extremely hard.
Tom Bramage.
The ProWorks Kawasaki of Luke Power on board bike number 68. Tom Bramage having a good start to this race as well. Let's compare those lap times that he's doing in this race to what he's been doing this weekend, because as he said, he didn't think it'd take him as long to come to terms with the 600 machine over the 300, but he's starting to really get on the pace now.
Oh, absolutely. He hasn't had a good, clean run either. He's had quite a few setup issues and bike problems and waiting for parts, but now that he's got everything, it looks like it's all coming together for him. There's Reece Belling. He had a great run earlier today, but struggling a little bit this time out. Yeah,
Tim Large just ahead of him there on board bike number 74. Tim Large doing a great job on the Race Centre gritting dingo machine. But it is Broc Pearson on 17 that leads. And this is exactly what we saw in the first race, wasn't it, Steve, in the early stages? Tom Edwards just dropping back a fraction from Max Stauffer, and Broc Pearson just holding a half-second lead over the rest of the field. But it wasn't long until we got to about mid-race distance where they all closed up once again.
Well, he's done it again. Broc Pearson has just broken his own lap record, 58.4, followed up by a 58.5 this time round. And Max Stauffer is going with him with a 58.4. So Max Stauffer, it looks like they may have found something.
Well, and also, too, that's 2 laps under his old lap record that he set earlier on today. So, great record. Oh, actually, no, that was the lap record I think he set last year, and then he bettered it again this morning, wasn't it?
Well, the record is from today, so nevertheless, it's a pretty impressive lap time. Stauffer right there with him now, a little bit tighter into the Alpine Stars fishhook, on the gas, nice and smooth.
You can see that the shots from the drone there indicate how fast that corner is.
Oh, it's really deceptive. It looks like a tight little slow track, and it does when you watch it from the side, but I tell you what, when you're on it, you certainly get that thing moving around. We just saw a big indication of their Max Stauffer sideways.
Yeah, he gets it sideways into that corner so often, and that was where they were trying to find a little bit more stability with the bike yesterday, working hard with his dad, Jamie, who's a 2-time Australian Supersport champion. He's also got 2 Australian Superbike championships to his name. And Jamie Stauffer used to be almost unbeatable around this Wakefield Park circuit, and Max is learning very, very quickly how to get a Supersport bike around here. Took his first victory in his rookie year of Supersport racing at the final 2 rounds of the championship, held here last year in December, and he once again takes that very wide line using all of the circuit at the top end there as he comes down through Ducati corner.
And there is a verification of that record, 58.433. Very, very fast. That's almost as fast as a Superbike. It's a really impressive time, and so impressive that Stauffer can run with him. That strategy from Tom Edwards, though, to save that tyre back, not so sure it's working. Maybe they made some other changes to the bike, or needed to, that they didn't, but he's dropped off the pace now. Still in the 58s, but high 58s for Edwards, whereas these 2 guys go over the line again, under the old lap record again, 58.6. This is incredible. What a year we're seeing, Phil.
And the old lap record coming into this weekend was a 59.050, set none other than Crew Halliday back in 2018. So, the pedigree of Crew Halliday is well and truly known to all fans of ASBK, but these guys are doing a great job.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Crew is not slow. He's had a Superbike pole position at this track, if not a win as well.
So round through Alpine Stars, now they come. It is still Broc Pearson, but Max Stauffer is essentially glued to the ducktail of bike number 17. So it is 17 versus 127. Down the back straight now. Look at them get the bikes over those bumps. Both of those bikes look incredibly composed considering how late they are in there on the brakes, how hard they're pushing it under lap record pace, and very, very deep on the brakes.
These guys are riding well, really, really well. They're riding at world class at the moment. Like, you can just see that they're on the absolute limit everywhere they go. Front sliding, rear sliding, no big movements though. Everything under control at the moment.
Remember, Broc Pearson has won 2 of the 3 races in the championship so far this year. Tom Edwards has taken victory in the other race. So it is very, very close at the top of the championship. 96 points to Broc Pearson at the moment, 84 to Tom Edwards. Max Stauffer in 3rd place in the championship, as you can see there in the bottom of your screen. And we'll keep you up to date with the live championship scores as we go along through this race. But at the moment, there's a pretty big gap back from Max in 2nd place to the Bike Biz machine of Tom Edwards in 3rd. You can see it there, Tom Edwards just coming onto the back straight as Broc Pearson's machine and also the GTR Motorstars bike of Max Stauffer make their way into turn 10.
You want to know how dedicated number 17 is? He literally gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to train to do this stuff. These guys are so fit, and Broc, at such a young age, is more than happy to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do his training regime. His dad told me he gets home before he gets up to go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So pretty impressive stuff, and that just shows the dedication that these front guys have got.
Probably one of the older and more experienced competitors in the class this year, Aidan Hayes on board bike number 46. The electrician from Sydney doing a great job. Came into this season, Steve, I'd have to say, looking fitter and more ready to go racing than he has for many years. Had a big crash on Friday, literally destroyed one of his motorcycles, but hasn't stopped him. No, he's just got faster and faster as the weekend's gone on. He's sitting in 9th place at the moment with a fastest lap in this race of 60.2 seconds.
Yeah, I feel Aiden Hayes has probably had the wind knocked out of his sails a little bit this weekend due to that crash, because he's a guy that can get on the podium nowadays. Let's hope that he can regroup, get his spare bike back up to spec, and next time out be strong as ever.
8 laps down for our race leaders. It is still Broc Pearson that leads by a scant 0.264 of a second over Max and Stauffer. There's Tom Bramich's mum, not Tom Edwards, Tom Bramich's mum holding out the pit board for bike number 44. Tom Bramich sitting in 7th place at the moment.
Yeah, Tom's doing some good times too, 59.9 for him. That's a pretty impressive lap time.
And also Scotty Nicholson, he was on the podium at Winton, wasn't he, doing a great job on board bike number 39?
There's probably no pressure on him now. If you think of Scotty Nicholson, he raced a 300 for many years. He was a constant winner in that class. Then he moved up into the 600s, but with the BMW team, and there was probably a little bit too much pressure. Pulled out of racing for a while. Now he's back doing his own thing, and he's fast. He's just showing us the speed that he's always had.
9 laps down, 16 laps is the journey, so we're only just gone into the second half of this race, and it is still Broc Pearson that is lapping under the old lap record. His fastest lap in this race, which is a new lap record, the last lap was only half a second slower at a 58.945. Remembering the old lap record, a 59.050. Ryan Sellen coming up the inside of Noel Mahon there, quite can't get the Yamaha up the inside. They'll have to try again.
Yeah, those two are having a pretty decent little dice, aren't they? There's Luke Mitchell. He's just run off into the dirt. Don't know what that was all about.
Managed to keep it upright through that gravel trap. He's got to the grass. They should be able to get back on track.
Yeah, let's hope. It looks like he's got some sort of brake problem. You see him there adjusting the front brake. I'd say he's lost his brakes.
Yeah, very scary place to do that, because that's a very fast corner where he's done it. He's back on track now coming up the AMMF hill, but unfortunately he's gone to the back of the field. But the good news is he's back on track.
Absolutely.
Here's a replay of it. You can see him getting in there.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't turned, has he? Do you know what I mean? Like, he can't tip in. Hard to know, but there was no reason to do that other than some sort of perhaps brake fade. It is pretty hard on the brakes here. It
is extremely hard on the brakes here. It's a great place to come and ride your road bike. In fact, Steve, I've taken opportunity to do that many, many times. And Broc Pearson! How did he save that, Steve? The back end stepped out. That's all that's done is perk Max's ears up, because he's gone, okay, Broc's tyres are now starting to go off and I can make a comeback. Broc Pearson was pushing the limit there. Let's have another look on the GoPro replay of Broc Pearson. Watch this as he came through the Danish corner, gets on the power, the back end steps out, his foot was off the foot peg. How he managed to save that, only Broc Pearson and his launderer will know.
Look at Max Stauffer now, right on the back wheel.
He's just gone, it's game on now as they come through Ducati, back to the scene of that incident. As they come down this hill, that's where we saw Broc Pearson get out of it. A little bit more sedate through there on that occasion. But look at Max. He's all over him now onto the back.
You do not want to fall off there, I can tell you now, Phil. That is a big, big crash if you fall off there. So he was lucky to get away with that one.
It's fast, it's downhill, it's probably slightly off camber too if you run out a little bit wide. And Max Stauffer is now just trying to find a place that he can try and come past our current race leader and new lap record holder, Broc Pearson.
Max is so good into that final curve, the Yamaha revs you had at that corner. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he does it. But the thing is that Pearson now's the time to do it, because Pearson will be taking 1 or 2 laps to get that confidence back, and then that moment will be out of his mind. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to do it, you've got to get past now.
Yeah, he'd be still trying to get his breath back after that moment.
Well, you need the confidence, because you go through there again without putting the same load through the tyre, because that's what he's done. He's gone through there and run off the edge of the tyre with too much corner speed. The tyres come round, and now he's got to get the confidence back.
3.5 laps to go. Let's go down to Rihanna.
And just to confirm, Steve Martin, you were right on the money there. Luke Mitchell into pit lane, no brakes for his bike. It's a pretty scary moment for him.
Yeah, thanks very much, Rihanna. Well picked, Steve. And a very scary moment, and not the place to be doing it there through turn 1 and down into Motul corner. But we're back to the front now. It is still Broc Pearson that leads. The lap times have dropped back into the 59s. They're only back to about the old lap record, Steve. As they come down onto the start-finish straight. There's Aiden Hayes' wife, Gemma, looking on.
He's through.
There goes Max, is through. And how fast did he sweep in there through turn 2? Gets the run up the hill now. Broc Pearson has a look over his shoulder. The good news is that Tom Edwards is 5 seconds behind this lead group. And look at Max, the body language has completely changed. He's pulled the pin, the fuse has been lit.
It's just gone straight down the inside there. Left everything on the edge, back down the gearbox. Pearson didn't have an answer for that one, and all of a sudden, Max Stauffer has got the confidence.
Back to the front, it is Max Stauffer. What's Max been able to uncork on this lap? His last lap was a 59.1. He's just been able to do a 58.775. And that's probably still 0.3 of a second off his fastest lap. His fastest lap was only 3/100ths of a second slower than Broc Pearson's new lap record.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff by that man out front. We know that he's good at this circuit. He's good everywhere, though, now as Max Stauffer. You're just going to remember how new he is to this 600 class. Boy, I still remember it wasn't that long ago that he was just starting on the R15s.
It would be 4 years ago, made his debut. Oh, no, actually, no, it would be 6 years ago because...
Well, seems like yesterday.
That's exactly right. And remember that Max Stauffer has also got a front tyre on that did the earlier race today as well. But the team were confident that wouldn't be a problem because the time of the tyre that he used in qualifying yesterday afternoon had done more than 2.5 race distances to get his front row grid time. So they knew that the bike was capable of doing it. They knew the tyres were capable of doing it. As the last lap board goes out for Max Stauffer, his current lead is 0.7 of a second. I think Broc Pearson may have decided that he's just going to set off for second place and continue to lead the championship by 7 points over Tom Edwards as they head to round 3 of the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's going through his head right now. What do I do? Do I risk it or do I get the points? The smart thing is to get the points, but Broc Pearson's young. Getting the points isn't always necessarily what he'll do.
And there's a bit of traffic. Ryan Sellen doing a great job there to sit up and let our race leaders go through.
I think that Stauffer's just got too much of a lead at the moment. It's looking good for him if he can just hold it together. It's not over yet. He's got to get through this corner. As we've seen, it can all go wrong in a hurry at this track. It looks like Stauffer's got the gap. If he doesn't make a mistake here, he's smooth.
He's into the final corner. He wasn't too late. He should get good run out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance front straight to take his second race win at Wakefield Park in only his second year of competition in the MotorsportsTV Supersport class. It is Max to the max and Broc Pearson in second position. Tom Edwards should get third place as they come round to complete this race now, and Jack Passfield will take an excellent fourth and Dallas Skier a sensational fifth.
Yeah, what a great result for those guys there. And what about that? Max Stauffer, incredible ride. Looked like he couldn't do it. He proved us all wrong. Give that motor a rev. You deserve it, Maxie.
2 race wins at Wakefield Park, and he joins Broc Pearson in this field with 2 race wins here at Wakefield Park. The eventual winning margin, 1.2 seconds. Tom Edwards in third. Little way back, further back than what we would have expected earlier on. Jack Passfield and Dallas Skier came across the line separated by 1/10 of a second. Luke Power in 6th. Bramich, Hayes, Nicholson and Belling, as we mentioned, round out the top 10, Steve.
Mitch Kuhn in 11th, that's a good result for him. Timothy Large got across the line, good to see. Ryan Sellen, Noel Mann and Luke Mitchell didn't finish the race.
Riders making their way into Park May now. Max Stauffer taking up his position at the middle of Park May there, getting a congratulatory hug from his dad, Jamie Stauffer, and Heath Griffin, along with Damien Cudlin, the men responsible for putting this GTR Motorstars team together.
If we had a move of the day, that would have been the move of the day, I reckon. That was a pretty impressive pass by Max Stauffer. Give Mum a hug.
Yes, his mum Emma is one of the most nervous spectators, along with his grandmother Susan Shields there, and they're all down there taking it all in. They love this sport. Broc Pearson leads the championship on 91 over Tom Edwards on 84, and that 25 points has boosted Max Stauffer further ahead now of Luke Power. 78 points in third place. Let's hear from our top 3 there with Rihanna.
Congratulations to our MotorsportsTV Supersport class coming in third place. Tom Edwards, Tom, I can tell by the look on your face, you're a little disappointed with that result there, but it's another podium.
Yeah, that's right, and I mean, we're still up there. This definitely isn't one of the tracks that suits my style. So, yeah, to be on the podium in both races, I'm happy with. I'm always getting points for the end of the season. That's all that matters. And the tracks coming up I really like, so looking forward to get there at testing and hopefully coming into the weekend starting strong.
That's pretty ominous for your competitors. Congratulations to Tom Edwards. Taking out second place in the second race of the day is Broc Pearson. Broc, you came in, you did a bit of a shrug of the shoulders. You certainly gave us a fright out there on track, but another fantastic podium.
Yeah, this is different, you know. I've never led a championship, and this is really cool, and I sort of outweighed it out there, and you know, I gave it everything I had in those first few laps to try and break Max, and I think he made a mistake, and I thought, okay, I need to go now. And I had a couple of mistakes, and I almost threw it away, and I just thought, you know, we're in a championship here, and I knew Max was hungry, he wasn't going to let go, so I tried to calm myself down and just found myself losing a little bit of grip, so I didn't really try and fight too much with him on that one. He deserved it, so yeah, he takes that, but this is really cool. I'm really glad going home in the championship. I'll come out with the next round and try and improve a few things and go from there.
Enjoy this moment. You are leaving this weekend as the championship leader. Congratulations to Broc Pearson and taking out the victory for the second race of the day. Congratulations, a huge cheer as he came into Park for May. Max Stauffer, enjoy this one.
Oh, I am, trust me. It's after the first race, I was a bit down, you know. It was tough to come third, especially leading with 2 laps to go. No rider likes to lose 2 places with 2 laps to go, you know. It's not good, but I'm pumped. I'm so happy.
You were so focused coming into this weekend, all throughout the weekend as it was unfolding. I could tell you really wanted this victory. Did you just build up to it as the weekend unfolded?
Yeah, basically, you know, the whole team, the whole GTR Motostars team just worked so hard to get the bike better and better so I could just go faster. And they've done an excellent job. After Winton, I wasn't too happy, but I'm happy now.
Enjoy these celebrations. I know the team is certainly enjoying it. Congratulations to our podium place getters, Tom Edwards, Broc Pearson and Max Stauffer.
The MA calendar events, plenty coming up. The Australian Junior and Senior Speedway Sidecar Championships, the 23rd and 24th of April, not long to wait. Olympic Park Speedway in Mildura in Victoria. Then it's the Penrite Pro MX Championship presented by AMX Superstores, round 2, the 2nd of May at the ACT Motorcycle Club, just down the road, Fairburn Park in ACT. For more information, ma.org.au. Down to Rihanna.
We've had beautiful weather. Everything has just been absolutely spectacular. And our next event, we go north. We head up to Darwin. I'm really looking forward to that, Steve. I bet you are too.
Well, I'm going to pack me bathers, so, you know, that'll be scary. But I am really looking forward to getting up there with the V8 supercars, and it's going to be a spectacular show.
They're certainly looking forward to getting up to Darwin. Thanks, Steve, for all your work. And, of course, thank you very much to our series commentator, Phil Harland. In the meantime, head to the ASBK website to keep up to date with all the information and across all of our social platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Look forward to bringing you all the action from Darwin in a few weeks' time.